a quadratic expression is written in the form of y is equal to ax squared plus bx plus c. This is how you write any general quadratic expression. So whenever you have a particular expression and you see an x squared term, it's a quadratic expression. It's a quadratic expression. So keep in mind that a quadratic expression is very different from a quadratic equation. This is not a quadratic equation, this is a quadratic expression. An equation is when we have an actual value here. For example, let's say ax squared plus bx plus c is equal to 5. That becomes an equation. This y is equal to ax squared plus bx plus c is just a general expression for a quadratic expression. So now whenever you have a quadratic equation, it's in the form of ax squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0. This becomes a quadratic equation. So the new concept that we need to introduce at this juncture is that quadratic equations, the solutions to a quadratic equation are known as the roots of a quadratic equation. The roots of a quadratic equation are the answers to the quadratic equation, or the solutions to the quadratic equation. So basically, when you're trying to solve this quadratic equation, the answers that you get, those are known as the roots of a quadratic equation. Now, in your previous study, you always came across quadratic equations which had two answers, which had two roots. For example, you might get the answers x is equal to 4 and x is equal to 5. But at this level, you will realize that certain quadratic equations have no solutions. Certain quadratic equations have no roots. They have no solutions. Certain quadratic equations have two solutions, have two roots, which is what you've been meeting all your entire life at this point. And certain quadratic equations have only one root or one solution. So just to summarize the purpose of this video was to introduce you to the fact that the solutions to a quadratic equation are known as roots. So whenever you're doing past paper questions and you see the word roots, you should not be confused. It basically just means the answers of that equation, or the solutions of that equation. For example, if the answers to this equation are 4 and 5, 4 and 5 are the roots of this quadratic equation. And also the concept that some quadratic equations will have no roots at all, where you will try to solve this quadratic equation and you won't get an answer. There's no solution to that, so there are no roots. And cases where you have two answers, which are the cases that you know, where you have two roots, and also when you just have one root. So in the next video, we are going to be looking at the case where a quadratic equation has no root. We are going to split these videos into parts. I'm going to do a video on each of the three cases, and this is the introduction video of that.